Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing my first ever Q&A video. I don't know why it's taken me so long to do one of these. I just kind of figured that nobody would care and nobody would have any questions to ask, but I put the call out there on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Snapchat, and you guys had questions and I have answers. I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's questions, but if you do enjoy this, I will keep it up, but let's go ahead and get started. So the first question comes from Paula on Twitter. This feels really weird. It feels like I'm running like a talk show or something. We're like, we have Paula online too, and she's got a question about. But anyways, first question comes from Paula, and she has two questions, but I'm gonna answer the first one. It is, when is your birthday? And my birthday is actually today. January 25th is my birthday. I'm turning 28 today. I'm actually filming this the night before, so it's my birthday eve as I film this, so got a little wine. Cheers. Drink responsibly and of age in your given location. I'm an Aquarius, so I'd love if any of you guys are into like signs and stuff. If you feel like you see Aquarius traits in me, let me know. Next is Liz, and she's from Newfoundland. She is a YouTuber and a blogger herself. I'll have her channel linked down below, but it says, how are you finding doing YouTube full time? Do you stick to a set schedule of work hours during the day to film? And before I was doing YouTube full time, I thought that's what I would do. I thought I would wake up, I would go to coffee shops, I would work from the library. I was like, I'm gonna get a library pass, and that is not at all what happened. I work all hours of the day. I do the majority of my work first thing, and that's one of my favorite things about working for myself is I wake up incredibly early, and I found when I had a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 4 gig, I was kind of waiting to go to work, and this way I wake up. Even some days I wake up at like 5:30, I'll start doing emails or editing, I'll start filming around 7:30 in the morning, and that way by noon I'll have a lot of my filming done, and I'll edit throughout the day, do more emails, take photos, that kind of thing. So I definitely do not have set work hours. I don't have set filming days because I have a lot of events. A cool PR package may show up that I didn't know about, a project may come in, so definitely working all the time. On the weekends I'm working, in the evenings I'm working, but it doesn't really feel like work the majority of the time. Sometimes it does, definitely, but for the most part, if I'm watching TV, I'm always going to be editing a blog post or doing Snapchat stories or whatever it may be. There's definitely always something to do. Now we have a question from another Samantha, great name. She says, hi Samantha, are your family and friends supportive of your passion for makeup or your YouTube channel? And do you ever receive criticism from those closest to you? And I've never really received criticism from anybody close to me. I mean, I can't say what goes on behind closed doors, but I've never really gotten anything but support. I know that my family doesn't 100% understand necessarily. They're kind of like, how's the videos going? But you know, nothing but support. I know there was a little bit of concern about me being able to pay my bills, not having health insurance, that kind of thing, but overall everybody has been really supportive, so that has been great. My boyfriend's incredibly supportive as well. I've actually locked him in the bedroom right now so I could film this video. Speaking of my boyfriend, the next question is, are you planning to get another cat? And this comes from Donnie, and yeah, if you were to ask me, that is definitely my plan. My dream and life goal is to have a Sphynx cat. They are hairless, and I know a lot of people are disgusted by them. I've maybe met 2 people in my life who are equally as excited as I am. There's something about how unique they are. They're playful, they're smart. A lot of the traits that my current cat Roux has, they have, and they just look really funny to me, and I think it's just hilarious, the idea of having a hairless cat and naming it like Janice or Tracy or Melissa or something like that. I don't know. And if I was to get one, I like the idea of a kitten, but at the same time I would like to get a retired breeding cat. That's what Roux is, and I adopted her when she was 4 or 5 years old, and they have a really amazing temperament, so I definitely want to ensure that my next cat has a really good temperament, and I like the idea of adopting a cat who's, you know, they're done their job, they're retired, now they can come live at my house. So this next question is about starting a YouTube channel, and this I get all the time. It's from Natalie D, and I believe we've chatted on Twitter a good few times. I recognize that username. What would your advice be to someone who wants to start their own YouTube channel but is afraid of how the end result might be? Lack of good equipment, cameras, lighting, blah blah blah. So my thing is, if you want to do it, start it. There's nothing stopping you. If you have a phone, I started on my webcam, then I moved to my phone, then I eventually got a real camera. Just do it. Use natural lighting. And I don't understand why people are so afraid to start, because in reality, you're gonna start a YouTube channel and no one's gonna watch your videos. So you can do whatever you want. no one's really gonna watch it. Like if you don't share it, unless one of your videos happens to go viral, which is incredibly rare, no one is gonna see it. You can sit down and film it. If you don't like the end product, you can refilm it. It's not live, and if you wanna do it, start it. If you're feeling a ton of hesitancy and you're incredibly scared, then maybe it's just not for you, you know? Like, of course you're gonna wanna challenge yourself and you're gonna wanna, you know, put yourself out there. It is very, very scary, but I can almost guarantee you that in the beginning, no one's gonna really notice your channel. You'll get more and more comfortable and you'll see yourself grow. As for equipment, I would say do not invest in anything until you're serious. Use natural lighting. iPhones have good filming abilities now, and just start there and see if you're comfortable with it. And then if you do like it and you do wanna grow, then you can start investing into some better equipment. But if you're gonna start a channel, Natalie, that's really exciting, and send me your link. I didn't really plan the order of these, but these are going quite nicely. So Faye said, why did you decide to make YouTube videos? What was the reason? So the origin story of my channel is I was being Rihanna for Halloween and I wanted to look up Rihanna makeup tutorials, so I googled Rihanna makeup tutorials and I came across YouTube. This was in 2011, and the first people that I came across were British YouTubers. Samantha is her name, Beauty Crush, along with the Pixie Woo sisters, and I was like, whoa, what is this world? And then that Christmas I ended up in Vancouver Island, and there's a Sephora there, so I went to a Sephora for my first time and I was like, what is this? Then I became addicted to watching these videos, and it became something that I really, really enjoyed, and I started looking at makeup in a different way. And then eventually when I got as soon as Ipsy launched in Canada, I bought the first one and I filmed my video unbagging that, unboxing that on my webcam at like 10 p.m. at night, and I threw it up on the internet, and that was that. But another reason that I actually kind of wanted to start was I couldn't find a lot of people who looked like me when I would go to match myself to foundation. Even now when I'm trying to match myself to foundations, I always go on YouTube and try and find someone who looks like me, and it's always very rare to find somebody. I don't know if you find that as well, or if you have any recommendations, of course, let me know down below. And then also I love to talk. I worked in radio, I've worked in car sales, I've always been, you know, student council, hosting events in school, so I've always done something like that, and this has become my creative outlet. I've said it 100 times over, but I don't like to draw or read or anything like that. Like, this is me being creative. Okay, next question from Snapchat. We are moving on to meal prepping question. Let me take a little sip here. And this is from Nelia. She said, is there anything about meal prepping you don't like? How do you decide on your meals, and do you check macros or calories? The one thing I don't like about meal prep is I can get really bored. I love trying new things. I love different food. So therefore, I've kind of come up with a few different ways that I've made meal prepping more interesting. So I'll have certain meals, like say a curry and rice, that can easily, in a rush, be heated up and I don't need to worry about it. But if all of my dishes just need to be microwaved and they're all ready and it's in one container, it just is so incredibly sad to me. I need texture, I need action, I need a little bit of assembly sometimes. So another dish that we've been doing, I mentioned in my first vlog, was cooking like a pork loin, having that cooked in the fridge, kind of like a pulled pork, and then I'll like toast a bun and put it on a sandwich, and that way you've got like texture and crunch. So that is one way I kind of avoid the meal prepping thing, but definitely boredom is something. And then also just the prep portion of it, like it does take time to actually prep it, but during the week it's a huge lifesaver. We decide on our meals. I'll go on to Pinterest generally and just kind of take a look and see what's interesting. We do a lot of repeat meals too. And for checking macros or calories, I used to do a lot of MyFitnessPal, will weigh out our meals and stuff, so I have a general idea, but I'm not doing anything strict. So this question, it comes from Amanda on Instagram. She said, what is your favorite thing about working with the women's shelters in the community? And I don't know, the whole thing is my favorite thing. If you didn't know, I donate unused products that I get in PR to a women's shelter here called Sistering, and it's just an incredible feeling. I feel so lucky to be able to help them. You'll see a little bit more of it actually in my next weekly vlog. I kind of take you to the shelter and show you my donation process and whatnot. But it's like the least I can do. I can't even talk about it, but it's just, all of it is so good. I'm already tearing up. The next question, kind of answered this already. Was your decision to dedicate your time to YouTube met with any negativity? Not really. My manager at my job was kind of like, no, like I knew you were gonna leave, but I didn't think you were gonna leave so soon, and I was like, me either. But no negativity, just kind of like the hesitancy from my family being like, really, that's a thing you can do? Are you sure about that? Like, are we gonna have to come scoop you off the street? But it's going good so far. So this is actually really funny. This comes from Caitlin Teaches Things. We're buds, like we chat all the time on just about all social platforms, but the photo that I put up on Instagram made it look like Roux was doing a Q&A. So she said, kibble or wet food? Roux gets kibble. Do you use a sound machine for sleeping, or does Roux make enough noise? She's actually not loud at night, believe it or not. And she said regular water or flavored, and regular for sure. That is hilarious. Maybe I should do a Q&A with just Roux. So now we're gonna move on to questions from YouTube. I've actually been loving this new YouTube community tab. I don't know if you've seen it show up in your feed, but it's such an easy way for me to talk to you because only a really small portion of you follow me on my other social media. So I've been loving this, this ability. So I got a question here from, oh, these are the wrong screenshots. Okay, here we go. This is a question that was thumbs up a lot, if that's how you'd put it. Prairie Jen said, as a Canadian, what products are you the most jealous of our American neighbors that have easy access to that you wish you could go to the drugstore and buy? I'm still grieving at the loss of Target. So yeah, definitely. It's not even a product, it's more so just Ulta. The fact that you can so easily buy new drugstore launches so quickly, even like your Amazon is better. I'm saying you as I'm speaking to the Americans. Even your Amazon, it's just more like your online shopping ability. Like my ColourPop order arrived today at $28, customs at the door. Little things like that. That's what really gets to me. It's not even products, but that just really hinders my ability to, or my desire to shop online as a Canadian. This next question comes from Churi, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Go-to routine, meaning favorite primer, foundation, and powder. At the moment, I'm loving the Benefit Professional Pore Primer. The Bare Minerals Bare Pro foundation is still a favorite of mine if I had to think of like a go-to. And then powder would be the CoverGirl Ready Set, not a Ready Set, Outlast All Day Matte Setting Powder. From Christina, she says, I know you just quit your job last year to do YouTube full time, but any backup plans when this YouTube gig dies down? It is not dying down. I'm not going anywhere. This is a really interesting question and something I think about a lot. It's from Chloe Rose. Do you feel like you have a disadvantage because you're a Canadian YouTuber? Hi from Winnipeg. Hello, Winnipeg. Yes and no. I do in the sense that things like being able to buy from Ulta right away so I can get my review up as soon as possible, being able to review products as soon as they launch when they're brand new are it's such an advantage because people are searching for it, and even if they don't want to watch you, they're gonna watch you anyways because it's a new launch. Like I know I've ended up there where I'm like watching someone and I'm like, I don't like you. But you have to watch it because I'm trying to figure out what their shade is, I'm trying to see what the product looks like. So that's a bit of a disadvantage. At the same time, I like being a Canadian YouTuber because there's less of us and the Canadian beauty market is incredibly ignored. That's why I have my Canadian beauty series, and I find a lot of Canadian YouTubers, or some, many, whatever you want to say, shy away from the fact that saying they're Canadian. I don't know if they feel like it's going to be polarizing to the rest of their subscribers. And I mean, if you're American and you feel it's weird that I'm talking about Canadian prices and that scares you away, then I mean, I don't know. But I never hear anybody talking about Canadian prices or how they ordered something or the shipping fees or customs, and those are important things. Like that's important to me. So I do like being able to like help be a part of the voice of the Canadian beauty industry. So there are disadvantages, but I love it. I love Canada. I'm wearing a red lip for a reason. The question is from Nikki Davis. It says, what is your #1 red lipstick? Right now it is the NARS Powermatte Lip Pigment. I mentioned this in, I think, my 2017 favorites. This is in the shade Don't Stop and I absolutely love it. It's just such a beautiful formula. It just feels so good, looks so good. It's incredible. Going back to the American thing, what state would you most like to live in and why? That's interesting. Probably California because I just got back from there, and the weather. I don't know anything about living there, housing prices, anything, but just the climate is incredible. I know there's like a drought and like earthquakes sometimes, so that's kind of a bummer, but the weather in California was incredible. So I guess if I had to choose right now, I would go California. From Alexandria Wagner, she said, is there a brand from the drugstore that you think could be mistaken for high end? And that's interesting. There's definitely some products for sure. If I had to think of an entire line, the experience that stands out to me the most, which was my most recent video, was Physicians Formula. And their products, I am newer to the brand because I always had a lot of qualms with their shade ranges, and not only did I not want to try it, I basically couldn't try the products even if I wanted to because they were so light beige, medium beige. And now that I've had more experience, and they're surprisingly sending me PR, even though I used to, you know, harass them on Twitter all the time for deeper shade ranges. I've been incredibly impressed with all of their products, and they definitely do have a high-end look and feel. Definitely a higher price tag, but I really feel like They make some absolutely beautiful, high quality products. It's all cruelty free. A lot of the products are vegan, hypoallergenic, so that definitely has a high-end feel to it. Anna Rodriguez asked a couple of questions. I'm gonna ask the YouTube related one. It says, do you ever get nervous or anxious about going to events with other influencers? Just thought of going into a room with a bunch of people I don't know and having to socialize freaks me out and makes me want to hide. No, my first ever event was with Clarins and I was so nervous, but I got there and it was fine. People were very, very nice, and now the community in Toronto is actually quite small, so I can show up to an event by myself and almost always know somebody. But the nice thing about these events is if you don't know anybody, and that has happened to me before too, first of all, you can just go up and talk to somebody. There's, you know, props and photo booths and new products, so there's always kind of a subject of conversation that you can kind of bring up. But you can also just be on your phone the whole time and like pretend you're Instagram storying and Snapchatting and blogging, because it's totally acceptable to be on your phone the entire time. But generally I do kind of know someone in the room, and sometimes I'll bring a friend along, or I'll go with a friend who I know is going to the event. So it's been nice. I've made so many friends through blogging and YouTubing, whatever you want to call it. From Onion Face, who also comments on a lot of my videos, she says, what is the best thing and worst thing about where you live? So I live in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and the best thing is my YouTube career. I would not have been able to do this from Newfoundland. A big part of me being able to make this a full-time career was living here, networking. These are where the brands are, the PR is, the events, the majority of the YouTubers. That is how I built what I'm doing. So that is definitely the best, and I love Toronto. I wasn't expecting to love it. It seems like a big cold city. It's dangerous, it's polluted. Like, that's kind of the view from Newfoundland. A lot of people have that opinion, and I did too, but it's actually an incredible city. No matter what you want to do here, there's an industry for it. The worst thing though is that because it's kind of like the hub of the country, it's incredibly expensive to live here. So for example, my boyfriend and I would love to move into a 2-bedroom apartment, and they're like $3,000 a month. Yeah, 1-bedroom condos are going for $600,000. So it's just like, we're like, okay, we'll never move. We'll never move. And like, I love our apartment, it's great, but I have like equipment and filming, and it's just a whole thing. And I don't have like a proper space, which can be really, really frustrating to want to be able to do your work and you feel like you don't have the proper setup. So that can be really frustrating, but I mean, that's fine. Like, I can't pay $3,000 a month for an apartment. So this next question is interesting. I'm gonna take a sip. She says, Hannah, thoughts on the Tarte Shape Tape foundation if you've tried it? So, I'm gonna be talking about this in my upcoming vlog. My vlog is going up a little bit late, so it's gonna be kind of backwards the way I'm doing this. I have so many things to say as a YouTuber, as a consumer, as a Tarte Shape Tape addict, as a person of color, whatever you want to call it. I have so many things to say. I'm so conflicted about how to approach this. I've done 2 polls asking you if you wanted me to review it. They both were yes. I want to review it. As a consumer, when I saw that sneak peek, I was so incredibly excited. And on top of that, the hypocrisy is that I've reviewed so many foundations that have crap shade ranges. And I understand that, you know, this was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. People were expecting more. It was so hyped up, and then it was just such a... So basically what happened was I had contacted my Tarte PR person at the beginning of the new year. As soon as I saw the launch, I was like, hey, I'd love to review it. It would be so awesome. Like, I'm Shade Tan Sand, like, wink, wink. And I didn't hear back. Because you know, they're very busy. The fact that Tarte ever sends me stuff like blew my mind in the first place. I was like, fair enough, like they're sending it out to all the big people. But I did hear back recently, and they did send me a bunch of shades. They sent me 6 in total, so 3 hydrating, 3 matte. And actually I just got it today. So I have so many schools of thought on this. I feel like I'm in this crap situation where, as a person of color, if I review it, it feels like I'm doing something wrong. I'm supporting a brand who doesn't support us. But at the same time, as a person of color who has built a business and, you know, traffic and foundation reviews are my brand and my thing, I'm losing out on an opportunity to review something. And, you know, of course you can take a stand, and I still haven't decided what I'm going to do. And I also don't want to have personal turmoil about a foundation. And it's more than a foundation. I 100% understand that. Like I said, this is a big part of why I started my channel, is I couldn't find anybody like me. I don't relate to white people and I don't relate to black people. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm like, so, you know, I don't know what to do. It's really, really frustrating. And the worst part was like their response to people being mad, saying that, you know, like, oh, you're pale in the winter. Like, no, I'm not pale right now. I'm pale for me. But yeah, so I don't know what to do. I have so many thoughts. I don't know, let me know what you think. Okay, moving on to another question. Styling with Sarah said, how do you stay confident when you have to deal with blemishes slash scarring on your face? I always feel it's the first thing that people notice. When I have makeup on, I ended up picking at it, which can sometimes make it even worse. So this is a very interesting and timely question. I've had issues with my skin since grade 5. I've talked about it a million times. Even in my weekly vlog, I said, you know, I'm struggling with my skin. I'm getting really sick of people talking about it, and people were still giving me recommendations in the comments. And a lot of the time people are trying to help, but for the most part, it made me so self-conscious to the point where I did not film one video last week because I felt so bad about my skin. And now I'm in a place where I'm filming a video the night before, like I am right now, which I never do. I always have videos ready to go so I don't miss a schedule. This is my job. And I felt like I couldn't do my job last week because I just couldn't face hearing people talk about my skin. And some of them were bad comments. Some of them were people saying, oh, I'd love to pop all the pimples on your face, but like the foundation looks great. Or like, ew, like you're putting foundation on that big juicy pimple, like blah, blah, blah. And then some comments were just people making recommendations, but it's like everybody's skin is different. If someone says they break out from a foundation, it's kind of irrelevant to you in a review because your skin is different and you're gonna, you know, react differently to it. It's such a personal thing. And it really frustrated me because I wasn't embarrassed of my skin, and I'm still not. And I think it's important for you to see somebody who has skin issues, because a lot of people either don't go barefaced on camera or don't have skin issues, and I'm okay to show it. Like it's fine to me, but it got to a point last week where I was literally so frustrated that I couldn't show my face barefaced. Anyways, that's I don't know how I deal with it. I'm gonna keep showing my face barefaced. You just have to keep going on. Don't be embarrassed. If anybody makes you feel embarrassed, like that's their bad. It has nothing to do with you. It's not that you're not washing your face or that you're wearing makeup or whatever, for the most part. Yeah, people are just crap. Don't let them bother you, and I'm gonna keep going barefaced and we can do it together. Okay, let's get back to Roux. Another question. It's from Kay, and she has a YouTube channel, which I will link to down below, and I actually met her in person. It's so funny. It's the first time I was ever recognized. I was walking down the street, she was walking down the street, and she was like, I watch your YouTube videos. I was like, what? Oh my God. It was amazing, and she's the sweetest. And she asks, how did you get Roux? What's the story behind her name? So I was out with my friends, it was the summer, we went swimming in a lake, and then we dropped by the SPCA because that's what me and my friends are like. I try and make my boyfriend do it all the time now, and he's like, no. So we went to the SPCA, try and find the video. I came across Roux. She was in a cage meowing like crazy, like you know how she is, but she was also in heat, and they were like, oh, she's not always this loud, like try not to like scare me. And I was like, no, I love it, like what is this? Like, and I never ever knew anything about Siamese cats really.
Yeah. Who's the baby? Who is it? She's so pretty. Hi. Hey. Who's the baby? Who's that skinny baby? Who's that? Oh.
I didn't know how loud they were, so I ended up adopting her, and I had said to my grandmother, like, I'm moving out in like 2 months, like it's fine, like you're not gonna have this cat for long. I moved out 2 years later. Anyways, she got her name. I'm pretty sure the guy I was dating slash, I don't know what the situation was, friend turned kind of boyfriend, I guess you'd call it, named her Roux, or said something about it because he said like she kind of kept doing this thing with her feet, like she had like kangaroo legs, and he said something like that, and then I changed it to Roux, R-O-U-X, to give it like a little bit of pizzazz, make it a little fancier. And at the vet in Newfoundland, they used to call her Roux and like pronounce the X, so that is how she got named, and then we kind of broke up a week later, but her name stayed Roux because I thought it was cute. So I think I'm gonna end it there. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down below. If you have more questions, let me know, and I will continue to do these if you did like them. I actually had a lot of fun. It's really nice to sit down and chat with you about other things outside of just what products I'm liking or whatever it may be. It's interesting. I don't know, it's a little bit therapeutic to kind of talk and share my story a little bit more. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!